Hello, PACB has been on rocket mode in January and we have their fourth quarter results coming next week on the 10th of February. I think there is a huge chance it's going to spark another run up. I'm going to share with you some big news recently that will affect the stock moving forwards and why I think ARK Invest have sold so many shares recently. Stay tuned. It's so simple. For those of you new to the channel, I am the Simple Trader. I am not a financial advisor, so please understand this is all for entertainment only. Full disclosure, I have a small position in this stock at a price of $25 and I'm looking to load up more for the reasons we'll be discussing in the next segments. No more plugging. Let's start drilling. Okay. Since my first deep drill video into PACB on the 4th of January where it was trading at $26, PACB has literally gone grenade mode on the stock market and exploded up at one point to a high of $41 on the 20th of January before pulling back and staying within a solid consolidation price zone. Today it's trading around $36. I expect it to remain here until the fourth quarter earnings where I am predicting a high probability of a strong breakout, unless of course they release some more news prior to this. Let's wait and see. Okay, I'm not flexing, but it seems I've been on quite a lucky and solid run of late, and the stocks that I've recently added to my portfolio all seem to be blowing up. I strongly suggest you take a look into my videos on GILT and CPSH, for example, which are both going through the roof right now, and both of which I'll be adding more shares shortly. On the 8th of January, PACB announced that the Wellcome Sanger Institute has confirmed to purchasing seven new SQL LLE systems and upgrading its existing 5 SQL 2 systems to increase its long read sequencing capabilities for their projects, including the Darwin Tree of Life. This is a huge start to 2021 for PACB. On the same day, PACB announces the appointments of Mark Van Owen as Chief Operating Officer and Peter Frommen as Chief Commercial Officer, and I hope I haven't butchered those names. Simply put, these dudes are joining PACB from arch rivals Illumina. These are great steals, and with their experience gained from Illumina, I believe this adds extreme value and leadership to PACB moving forwards. I especially think with the addition of Frommen, who also has international experience in the field, that PACB's marketing strategies will be upgraded and improved, and I think we will start seeing these effects in the second quarter this year. Okay, on the 11th of January, PACB released preliminary fourth quarter revenue information, and I want to highlight that they are expecting fourth quarter revenues to be approximately $27 million, which is ginormous as it would be a 41% increase over their third quarter results. They also highlight that they placed 35 SQL 2 and 2E systems. What is good to note is they have received $94 million in net proceeds from the public offering made in November, which means they have an enormous balance of over $318 million in cash. That's a lot, and I really hope to see them using more of this for their R&D and marketing in the coming months ahead, as I want to see them form a clear growth strategy moving forwards. On the 13th of January, PACB announces a multi-year collaboration with Invitae to develop ultra-high throughput clinical whole genome sequencing platform. This is potentially a huge cash cow in the making, as Invitae are blowing up due to their simple to use service for genetic testing. If together they can develop something even more unique, then this could be an explosive partnership. I want to let you know that I am extremely bullish on this collaboration, and looking past the surface, we should note that Invitae are the number 6th overall ARK Invest holding, as they are in both ARK K and ARK G portfolios, and overall ARK Invest owns over 9% of Invitae. That's just big. Simply put, I think this is another winning company in the coming years for sure, and the fact that PACB are working with them to leverage their technologies in genomics is simply huge. On the 14th of January, we had the 39th annual JP Morgan Healthcare presentation, and let me run you through what I believe are the key takeaways. I love this slide as it clearly shows they are looking at a similar business model to Invitae, where they are looking to target the masses with an addressable market of over $20 billion. This is massive. Now, I touched on this in my first video, but I want to reiterate this, as this is the backbone of why I think PACB will grow big in the coming 1 to 3 years in the space, and that is they are able to significantly bring down the cost of genetic sequencing by looking at the entire chain and not just in the initial equipment. In effect, for me, they are breaking down the whole cost cycle, which in the end makes their product and services viable for millions and millions of people. I also mentioned this in the news segment, but I think we shouldn't be taking this lightly. From the trends, we clearly see their revenues going up each quarter in 2020, and in part, we can assume PACB were massively affected by COVID. But what we should hopefully be seeing is continued exponential growth from here on in, as the entire genomic space looks set to explode in the coming year and beyond. Also, LabCorp was awarded a CDC contract to study the variants of COVID-19. And guess how they will be doing this? Yes, by using PACB's sequencing machinery and technology. I'm also all in on their coming objectives, which suggest to me they are seriously going to expand this year. As the genomic boom is coming, they are now in the best position to start dominating. As an investor and believer in PACB's technology and business, when I see they are taking the commercial aspects so seriously and looking to double up on their commercial footprint, this provides me big positive sentiments moving forwards, and I really do believe 2021 could be the breakout year for PACB. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your views for PACB this year. Institutional ownership of PACB is through the roof at over 80%, and an increase of over 10% from the previous reporting in my first video. This is just crazy, and the so-called smart money has been piling into this stock. And what do I make of this? Well, it's simple. With less than 20% of shares outstanding to average Joes like me, I only see the stock going in one direction, and that's up. ARK Invest have actually been selling PACB, and since my last video where PACB was the #1 holding in the ARKG ETF, they have now since dropped to 3rd position, which I want to stress is still pretty high conviction and only behind Teladoc and Twist. I think why ARK has sold so many shares is simply portfolio balancing and also taking advantage of the recent stock surge, which is something any good portfolio manager will do. I don't think there's any cause for alarm. I mean, ARK Invest have been known to be very bullish on both Teladoc and Twist, so PACB at 3rd position still gives me a lot of positive sentiment. To summarize, and I am trying to piece all these updates together, I believe we may be in for the next upsurge, as everything to me is pointing to that. For me, nothing has changed fundamentally in PACB from my original deep drill except to the upside, and these include key solid appointments to drive the company forward. Preliminary financials on the 4th quarter seems overwhelmingly positive, proven demand for their technology and recent new sales orders, a new multi-year partnership with Invitae moving forwards, and the involvement of their technology in COVID sequencing that could be big. I believe that with all these catalysts, the stock price could see the next surge up and go up and past $40. I think the $40 level will at least be tested. Long term, my conviction remains the same, and as ridiculous as it may seem now, I really do see PACB close to $500 in 5 years' time. Please do check out my previous deep drill if you're only hearing about PACB for the first time, as I'm sure you will get a good understanding of who they are, what they do, and why they are going to be a great investment from my perspective. If you are looking to start an investment in the genomic space, which is one of the 5 areas of exponential growth Cathie Wood is predicting for the coming few years. Thank you for watching, and remember that I do have a position in PACB and an overwhelming bullish view on this, so please do your own due diligence and only risk what you can afford to lose in these growth stocks. Speak to a professional before you look to invest any of your money. If you are interested in other huge growth stocks that I have in my portfolio, please check out my other videos. For more huge growth stock picks, analysis and updates, please stay tuned and consider subscribing to my channel. go on. So you get the information first. I am the simple trader. I try to keep this very simple, and we'll simply see you next time.